In this video, you are going to be creating and running your very first Node app. While it will be a simple one, it's going to demonstrate the entire process from creating files to running them from the terminal. The first step is going to be to create a folder. Every project we create is going to live inside of its own folder. I'm going to open up the Finder on OS X and navigate to my desktop. What I'd like you to do is open up the desktop on your OS, whether you're on Linux, Windows, or OS X, and create a brand new folder called Hello World. Now I'm using capitalization on both the H and W. You could also go with something like this, hello-world. Let's go ahead and use this option, hello-world in lowercase. I don't recommend using spaces in your project file or folder names, as it only makes it more confusing to navigate inside of the terminal. Now we have this Hello World folder, and we can open it up inside of our editor. Here I used Command O to open up, and I'm going to navigate to the desktop and to double click my Hello World folder. On the left I have my files, which are none. Let's go ahead and create a new one. I'm going to make a new file in the root of the project, and we're going to call this one app.js. This is going to be the only file we have inside of our Node application. And in here, we can write some code that's going to get executed when we start the app. In the future, we'll be doing crazy stuff like initializing databases and starting web servers, but for now, we're simply going to use console.log, which means we're accessing the log property on the console object. It's a function, so we can call it with parentheses. And we're going to pass in one argument, a string, hello world. I'm going to toss a semicolon on the end and save the file. This is going to be the first app we run. Now remember, there is a basic JavaScript requirement for this course, so nothing here should look too foreign to you. I'll be covering everything new and fresh inside of this course, but the basics, creating variables, calling functions, those should be something you're already familiar with. Now that we have our app.js file, the only thing left to do is run it, and we're going to do that over in the terminal. Now to run this program, we have to navigate into our project folder. If you're not familiar with the terminal, I'll give you a quick refresher. You can always figure out where you are using pwd on Linux or OS X, or the dir command on Windows. When you run it, you're going to see something like this. I'm in the users folder, and then I'm in my user folder, and my username happens to be Andrew. When you open the terminal or the command prompt, you're going to start in your user directory. We can use cd to navigate into the desktop. And here we are. Now we're sitting in the desktop. The other command you can run from anywhere on your computer is /users/Andrew/desktop. This is going to navigate to your desktop no matter what folder you're located in. The command up above, cd desktop, requires you to be in the user directory to work correctly. Now that we're here though, we can start by cding into our project directory, which we called hello-world. And once we're in here, we can run the ls command on Linux or Mac, which is the dir command on Windows, to see all of our files. And in this case, we just have one. We have app.js. This is the file we're going to run. Now, before you do anything else, make sure you see what I see here. You should be in the Hello World folder, and you should have the app.js file inside. If you do, all we're going to do is run the node command, followed by a space so we can pass in an argument, and that argument is going to be the file name app.js. Once you have this in place, you go ahead and hit enter, and there we go. Hello World prints to the screen. And that is all it takes to create and run a very basic Node application. While our app doesn't do anything cool, we're going to be using this process of creating folders, files, and running them from the terminal throughout the course, so it's a great start on our way to making real-world Node apps. That is it for this video, and that is it for this section. We took a look at what Node is, why it's cool, and you created your very first application. In the next section, we're going to dive in creating our first app. I am super excited to start writing real-world applications, so stay tuned. I will see you next time.